9s. They're kind of nice. With a lot of the other boards, you have to cut the diagnostic pin if you're not using sensorless homing. These ones have a switch that turns off the diag pin, and you turn it on only if you want to use the sensorless homing. So that's kind of cool. Nice little heat sinks. Board setup so far. I found a good reference online. I'll show it to you in a second. We're using UART mode, so the jumper only goes there. I've already pre-done all the other steppers. Added the heat sinks. So far the documentation isn't stellar, I've got to say right off the bat. I've referred to a number of videos, but we've got an expansion module slot available to us. I'm not sure if they did that for if you wanted to add like another 4 steppers or something, but it does have a module, but there's no documentation on really what you can do with that yet, whether it's for IDEX or something. You've got your Wi-Fi module here. It's all shielded and has a really nice little antenna that can stick out of your printer box. You do, for a single Z-axis machine you need to short the 2 pins. Apparently that's similar to most duets. If you're not using this, you have to short them. It also has an interesting feature. It has power here and power input here, so you can, if your case is cramped, and you just can't get your wires in, you can wire your power to here or here, which is kind of interesting. So there you go. That's just a brief overview. I'll show you what documentation I have found so far. So what I have found so far is Fly doesn't have anything on their GitHub right now, but luckily Team Gloomy, who helped develop this board, they also helped develop the port for the other boards like the MKS Gen L, version 1, version 2, the SKR 1.1, 1.3. If you have the SKR Pro, there's quite a few different versions of their software that they've basically ported to make it run on these other. I think I'm gonna have to sort out my audio issues. But yeah, so this is the only site I found that has all the info on it for the pins and configuration and whatnot. So just be aware that they're not as refined as Big Tree Tech is yet with putting all their information, but Gloomy has put together a really nice page here to provide you with a lot of information on the pinouts and connecting everything up. There are, like I said, a few things that are missing that I don't know what they do. So I'm going to go back to my desktop view. So, for example, there is a J2 pin right here. I can't find any documentation on what that does. Now, I'm pretty sure I know what most of the other things are. The ST link here, that is just like your on your Ender boards. It's just like your link to program the chip if you don't have a boot ROM. I believe that's what you can do to connect to the board to do that. Here's your TFT header. There's your USB header here. We've got a reset. Again, no documentation. I'm not sure what BTO stands for, so if someone knows, that would be wonderful if you let me know, because I don't know what the BTO is for. Then we have the one header for the Ender screen, and we've got the heat sinks on our MOSFETs here. We have two controllable fan inputs right here. We have a non-controllable always-on one here. We got our end stops. I've found a very good diagram showing that stuff. So let's see if I can find that here. Oh, and then I found a good blog that talks a little bit about what's going on. Let me just show that to you 1 second. So here he's got a blog that talks about the new board, some of the stuff they've done with the board, where it can be purchased. So this is early development on the board, but yeah, it's got a lot of good information there. Talks about the different thermocouplers versus the regular thermistors and whatnot. Then we've got the Flymaker GitHub. Now we're using the Fly RepRap E3, and so the initial configuration is here. There's a download here which has all the configuration files if you're using it in an Ender. So we might be downloading that one. We'll decide a little bit later here. Again, here's a nice big shot of the pinouts that they have. Pretty nice that they have that available to us. Right now, I don't know if the storage is closed for a holiday, but you can't even purchase the board if you guys are looking for it at the moment. And then they have the stepper drivers. That's the 2209 that I've installed on the board there. So I just thought we'd go here so you can get some good look at there's the dip switch on the bottom, which is kind of nice. And yeah. And then we've got the getting started guide, which I'm probably going to be following tonight to try to get this all configured. And yeah, so we'll kind of go from there and see kind of what we can see. And yeah, I'm definitely new to RepRap. If you go to good resource here. Okay, so we got another resource that we can look at. All right, so I'm just going to dive right in here. I thought we would get the prep an SD card. I got it right available here for me, and we can kind of follow the guide and see what we can set up, see if we can get this thing at least powered up and the Wi-Fi going. That's the goal for tonight anyway. So we shall see if we can get that going. So, getting started. They have the user manual. So they want us to download software package, and then once we've downloaded that, copy everything to the SD card. Okay, well, I can definitely do that. Alright, audio is still working, which is excellent. So here's my SD card, and I will grab the download. It is, where did I download it to? There we are. Alright, here's the download. So they say we just take all of this, sys macros, G codes. This one has an extra one called filaments, and there's our firmware.bin. Looks like this one came from January 28th. Okay, well, we'll drop it on the SD card. All right. Okay. So that's first step. All right. Insert the SD card into the motherboard. Okay. We can do that. We'll eject it. Let's go to the desk view. So I ejected it. We'll pop it in. And there we go. So that is in. Now we'll need to connect up some power. Hopefully doing this live, I'm not going to fry anything. I know David will be highly entertained if I fry my board that just came in. So we'll open this up. So I printed off for reference the power connectors sheet right there. So I'm going to keep this just out of view so I can reference it. So I got my 24 volt power supply. Positive goes in here. All right. And negative goes in there. Okay. So we are connected to power. They also came with this lovely mini, not micro, mini USB. So we can plug that in. And then we can go back to our guide. It says insert the SD card into the motherboard, restart and repower the motherboard, plug in all pins around the Wi-Fi. Pins around the Wi-Fi module shown in figure. No figure. Okay, well, there's no Wi-Fi module either, so it's built on board, so there's nothing to plug. So again, directions aren't that great. And then it wants us to open the terminal software. Alright, so let's plug this in. Let's see here. I believe I have a USB port nearby. Okay. I do. I can power up my power supply. Okay, so we got power. Alright, so now we got power. Sorry if you can hear the fan noise. Close quarters here, so. Okay, I just heard the disconnect sound. I'm not sure if that went on air or not. Alright, so now let's bring up Pronterface, shall we? And I will put it up in the shared screen. Where's my Pronterface? My Pronterface is missing. I haven't run it in a while. There we go. Alright, so I'm going to switch back to the, because there's nothing exciting here but some blinking lights. So I'm going to switch to my share screen view. Okay, so we got Pronter face here.
Is there sound now? My sound kept cutting out, and I think I have sound now. Okay. So, sorry about the no sound. I switched microphones because I had an issue with my other one cut out as soon as I plugged the USB in, so I had to use this one, which is my headset mic, and it's not quite as good, so it'll just have to do. So what I'm doing now is trying to get the Wi-Fi working. It didn't like my password, so in order to get it working, I'm going to reflash it. I have to do the S1. So we'll go back to my Pronter face. S1. Printer's not online. Well, let me fix that. What? M9 file firmware duet bin not found. Okay, so that did not work. Wonderful. We're learning lots here. All right, we'll go back to the original file. I'm going to move this into the new folder, and then I'll just stay in the new folder, right, shall we? Oh, I just heard a do-do-do. I'm not sure why things are disconnecting on me. So frustrating. All right, new folder. It's empty. Where'd my ender folder go? All right, how do I... Let's go into my ender folder, firmware, and we're going to copy this firmware to the USB drive, and we will flash this firmware and see if that does the trick. Again, it works just like all the other boards. Run a reset, it does the flash, renames it to current. So that's pretty handy if you've used Marlin. That's good to know, but then you do have to run this command to expand it after it's done. And printer's now online. Okay, so let's try this again. There we go. We're flashing it. Now this is again the stock one from January. I wanted to get the newer one. So flashing, this is updating all the Wi-Fi and flashing it on there, but oh well. I fixed that, David. If you're wondering, I forgot to make it public. I had it private. So the first half is private and now it's public. So that was my little snafu. I haven't done a live stream in a while by myself. So, all right. So that is done, but it does not like my Wi-Fi password. And so it says here, David, if you after it's done expanding, you run the M552S0 to put it in idle. So, oops, Just Now everyone knows my Wi-Fi password. All right. M552S0. And it's supposed to go idle the module. Error unknown. M552S0. Alright, well, let's try this again. M5, oops, 552 S0. I wonder if I have to reboot this again. Once I've expanded it. Maybe. We will try it. Well, if anyone wants free Wi-Fi, they can watch the video and come to my house, I guess, eh? Alright. Let's disconnect. Connect. Printer is now online. What happens if I go S1? Because that should make it non-idle. Nope. It doesn't like it. Well, I don't think doing this live was such a great idea. All right. Oh, no networks found. Okay, so it did switch it to out of idle mode. Okay. So that is working. Okay, good. Alright. So now let's try the passwords again. It's sure taking a lot longer to process the password. Haven't got an error yet. So you didn't miss anything. I just was trying to make my... So I don't know if it processed. It says sending. Okay, let's try turning it on and seeing if it connects to Wi-Fi. It doesn't seem to be doing a hell of a lot. Oh, sweet. Reflashing it was the trick. It is now officially part of the network. So, in theory, I should be able to go to 10.1.1.76. Ah. Come on. You can do it. Oh ho ho. There we go. That was actually not that difficult so far. Yay, success. Yes, yes, David, we have success. All right, so this looks good. We got lots of faults and stuff, but nothing's actually plugged in, so that makes sense. I have power to the board, but that's about it. All right. So now what's now I'm going to snap this to the side here. Oops, to the side. Come on, and then I'll bring up my guide over here. Okay. So enter the IP address. You should get that screen, and we did. Yay. Okay. Part 2. Configure. Okay, so now we got to go and use the configurator to actually generate the G code. Or you can choose your motherboard. Okay, well, I can choose a. Is that on the configurator? Oh, that's on the configurator, I think. Yeah, it is. All right, let's go to the configurator, shall we? It is J JS UK.github. LLCP. All right, let's see if we can actually get there. Oh, did I spell it wrong? Let's see. I probably did. It is. Wish this wasn't a picture. J A Y S K U dot G I T hub dot io dot L O L P. Oh, there we go. L P C configure LPTC C. There we go. All right. Quality Ender Fly Board 3. Perfect. Next. Yep, stable. Ender 3. That looks good. Cartesian. That looks good. Aw, thanks, David. You're the best. Alright, so Cartesian, that looks good, 235. And they even have, look at this, David, they actually have the Ender build plate correct. Isn't that amazing? Homing speed, okay, well, we'll leave defaults for now. X stop, Y stop, we don't use a Z stop, we use a probe. Is that stop? Yep. Bed. Yeah. Yeah. Probe assignment. Yes. Servo 0. Input pin. I don't know about that one. I suppose we could, if we don't assign that one, right? Because we don't want to end stop for that, but then we have to assign this one. Probe. Servo 0. Okay, I think that's right. Fan input 0, fan input 1. That looks good. Alright, what do we have here? 2209s, yep. Looks good. Motor current. Ooh, that's quite high. What do you think? 2209s, David. 850? Or should I go 900? I think 900, eh? We'll go 900 for now. 650? You think so? Alright. 650 it is. We'll do 650. I guess I'm thinking of a bigger printer. Alright. 650 it is. We'll go 650 all the way. Motor current reduction, idler. So this is after timeout, it reduces the power by 30% after 30 seconds. Yeah, it is milliamps, so default value. So this is the M906 value. So this would be, yeah. Well, we could go, well, I could change it after. It's no big deal to change it after, right? Install type for this access. That's a probe, but I'll just have to say none, I guess. Manual home, no, it should be probe. I'm not doing sensorless. Alright, maybe I have to go back. Maybe I had to put, see, it won't let me put probe here. Put stop. Let's see what happens now. I guess I gotta go none. I'll go back, not assigned. Alright, well, we'll see what happens. Marlin defaults to 650 burst that happens is stalled. That's true. That is very true. So we'll say none there. Probe offset. BL touch. Trigger height. I don't remember what I had mine set at. Let's look at what it is in Marlin. Here. I don't remember what I had mine set up, so let's have a look here. Ender, here we are, Marlin configuration, here we go. Let's have a look, shall we? Minus 3,000. Why am I minus 3,000? I think that would dig into the bed if I went that low. That would be bad. There's bed size, bed leveling, come on. Getting close. Did I pass it? I don't think I passed it. I must have passed it. Probe. There we are. Minus 2.2. Alright. Alright, probe X offset. Minus 41. So I'm just transferring these direct from my Marlin config. probing speed. And then trigger height, that must be maybe using BL touch probing. I'm gonna go, I don't know if it should be minus, I'm gonna go 2.2 because it's minus 2.2 and I feel safer doing that. Alright. Perfect. Hotbed, PID or bang bang. Let's do PID for now. Now I should have those values in here too, if I'm not mistaken. Because I normally put those values in. Where's my PID bed? Bed. Alright. On end. There we are. Found them. PID. Yes. We're PID. Alright. Temperature limit. Hotbed. Sure. Nozzles. That's fine. PWM limit. 100%. I'm not sure what I need to do about those. We'll just leave that for now. Part cooling. Speed 0. Thermostatically controlled. I like thermostatically controlled. Part cooling, no. But yeah, so that's nice. You don't have to. You do it all right here. It'll generate a little config file, and there's your auto hot end value. So the fan for your tool turns off. That is very nice. Wait for temperature to be reached. Yeah, that's fine. Select first tool, tool 0, name. No, I don't need a name. Looks fine. We only have the one tool head. That looks good. Should we... Let's do the stock display, hey? Oh, it won't let me. Check this to enable the support. It will not do this. Enable Big Tree Tech. I could do a Big Tree Tech. It will not let me enable this, David. Look at that. Well, I have a Big Tree Tech display that I can plug in if I need it. But it does have the web interface, so don't know if that's really necessary or not. Password for the web interface, sure. Rep. Configure manually. Wi-Fi password. Okay, I'm going to take these off screen. Alright. So I'm just off screen for a second, typing my stuff in. Not that everyone doesn't already know it. Looks good. Alright, so now I'll put it back on screen. Get the latest stable control version, and that looks good. Custom G-code, don't know if I need that. All right. We are ready. Download. So it's going to download, put these files in the sys directory of the Duet, www on the SD card, wduet, control settings. All right, let's. There's my configuration. There's my template. I'm just going to leave this up for a sec because I want to see if these files are actually in this file. If they are, then we're golden. Let's have a look. I do not see them there. I see these here, but these ones are not. So I'm going to have to download each of these then. All right. Put these files in the sister. All right. Okay. That's. They were at the root? Really? I didn't see them. No, they weren't at the root. I just downloaded them. Yeah, so we got the Duet. Where's firmware duet.bin, and so all these three go in the root, and yeah, I think it was just something old. If you're using a Duet controller, you can upload the zip files without extracting them on the settings page. Otherwise, you can extract the contents of the bundle to the root of your SD card. Alright. Well, that means I gotta eject my SD card. Okay, so that part is done. So let's open the SD card, shall we? And see if this works. Okay, so this extract files. Okay, well, let's just do this. Whoop. Okay. Done. That's the root of the SD card. And now, let's go back to this. So, put that, so that has, put the firmware, oh, this directory, extract the Duet Web Control bundle. Oops. I put it in the wrong place. Gotta read your settings before you extract. Alright. So that should have been in here. Alright, well, we can... I can move all those into there. Replace. And then image goes into there. CSS goes into there. Fonts goes into there. And JS goes into there. Alright. Not so bad. It can be fixed. Alright. So, and then what else does it say? Rep firmware files go into the sys folder. Alright, so those files, where's my other folder? Okay. And the firmware files. I don't know if I want the beta. We'll go with the 2.2 for now. That goes into the sys directory, and I think they wanted that in there too. All right. All right. Okay. Putting it back in now. We'll reboot it and see what happens. Bring up my prompter face. Disconnect. I'm hearing the disconnect sound. Printer is online. Yeah, we got some thermistor there. 76. Password. Cool. All right. So that worked so far. State failed to maintain connection. Yeah, well, that's because I pulled the SD card out. There's some macros, filaments. There's our system files, and what's cool is, like, if you need to edit this, you can just edit this file and change any of your settings and then close it down, and it's live. You don't have to recompile. So that's pretty cool. Board, fly, there's all our settings we put in. Yeah, okay. General settings. Do it control. Heater. Height map CSV not found. Well, we haven't done a probe because it's not actually physically in a printer, so that makes sense. But you got a whole bunch of, you can send your G codes. This is pretty cool, actually. Oh, look at that. That changes the signal light. I don't know if that actually changed it or not. Let's see if I go back to 0. No, it just means we're communicating with it. That's it. I have no LEDs indicating that the fan control is doing anything. I don't have a fan hooked up, so. Oh, we got a temperature. You know what? I got some thermistors here. Somewhere. I don't think I gave all my thermistors to David. I know I gave him, I think I gave you a couple, didn't I? At some point. Let's see what we got here. We got a hot end here. Let's see what happens if I plug this in. Oh, of course, this one won't plug in because it's a different type. I don't know where all my thermistors are. It should be in here. One of these drawers. Here we are. No, I have a whole bunch of thermistors, David. All right. Let's see. Heater. Nothing. I didn't like that one. How about this one? Oh, let me guess. This is just the extension cable. This isn't the thermistor. Yeah, it's the extension cable. 1 second, I got to plug the thermistor in. I'll go switch to my desk view. It's not reading a thermistor because I didn't have it plugged in. Ho ho. Now, it's not calibrated for this is a high temperature one, so it's not calibrated correctly. So all we're going to see is that it's actually, seeing something, and it is. I will go back to my share screen, and you can see here it thinks it's 170 degrees because this is a high temp thermistor. So I wonder if because it's a PT100, I wonder if I plug it into there. I wonder if I have to configure it differently. Probably do. So this board, I'll just switch back to my board view. So this board has, it can take the PT100 here, and then the regular thermistors there. So these are for our mosquito clone. So I've got this can go into here, but I think I'd have to change the I'm gonna have to change the hot end choice or the thermistor choice. So I'll have to figure that one out because that is not calibrated correctly for that one. But if I plug it into either of these, I do get a value. So I know the board is reading the thermistor spots. Living hell. Lots of laugh. Yeah, well, it is a living hell. But that's okay. We'll go back to the shared screen. So, all right. I've learned a lot. Not too hard to get the firmware on. I'll have to figure out how to upgrade the firmware because there's a beta version that I want to try, which supposedly I think that enables the Ender screen. What? Where did my main view go? Ah, no. Why is it not enabling my... Ah! This is just a gong show. It won't go to my main camera anymore. So crazy. I can go to this screen. I can go to my title screen. But oh, there, now it worked. Weird. Every time I was just getting a black screen when I switched to it. So thanks, Ronan, for laughing at your dad. I appreciate it. All right, so I've got my high temperature thermistor. I'll have to experiment with some other stuff, but the setup was a little more advanced. But I still don't know. I'll just switch to my desk view. So the documentation doesn't tell me what this jumper does, and the documentation doesn't tell me what this jumper does. So there's two jumpers here and here that the documentation doesn't really talk about. And then there, David, I was saying earlier when I was private, this BTO button, don't know what it does. I'll have to try to figure out. Reset, I know what that does, but the BTO I doesn't. Then it has the ST link to program the chip if something went wrong, but the flashing works really easy directly from the card. So, and it has a couple of heat sinks for your MOSFETs, so yeah, it's kind of nice. So I'm going to turn off my power supply. I'm going to disconnect the USB. And I guess that's it for the basic setup. I'll get a little more advanced later on. Wasn't too bad. I think I probably go through and figure out a few more exact settings before I put it in the printer. I do like the web interface. It's quite nice to see all the settings in there. So I'll have to play with that a little more. Sorry about the rough start to the live stream. I haven't ran OBS by myself in a while. But thanks David and Ronan for showing up. And the super chat was very nice, David. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I guess we'll see you next time. Bye.